Hello, I'm Eric,
And I'm Melissa.
and we just got back from our very first Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2013. Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Melissa's
Good time.
brother Eric came out with his girlfriend, and Melissa's mom came out to watch our kids. So the four of us, Eric and his girlfriend, and Melissa and I, could all go to the expo. It was our first trip there. It was very exciting.
We've been waiting for about a year.
We've been waiting for about
We
a year to
found
go
out
to
about
this.
last year's right around the time and missed it.
Yeah,
So-
I've sort of got into following game collecting on YouTube in the last year, and I started doing that sort of right around the time or right after the Retro Gaming Expo last year. So we've been waiting a while to go to this. In the last year, I've been following all these YouTube channels and really kicking up my collection. My collection has grown quite a bit. It's grown about 30% in the
Yeah.
last year, thanks to being inspired by people on YouTube. Who we actually got to meet several of
Yeah.
at the expo. That was very exciting. We met Metal Jesus and Drunken Master Paul. They were having coffee, and then I bumped into Nest Complex and Vintage Video Game Geek. Those are some of the first two guys I started watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
I stumbled across Vintage Video Game Geek's collection, and that's kind of what started me searching on YouTube, looking for other things. And so now we have this sort of group of people that we follow. We bumped into the Portlandian, who is a local out here in Oregon. We live out in Oregon, and he's a local out here, so we've been following him. We bumped into Gamester 81. We bumped into Luigi Freakout 123 and his father.
Yeah.
Those guys
They're
are
in
also
Portland.
local. Very cool to meet them. We bumped into Retro Liberty, Aaron and Ricky. We've been following them for quite a while. Who else do we see? We saw Happy Console Gamer.
Yeah.
We got to see him on Sunday. That was really exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, we bumped into quite a few of the YouTubers that we've been following, and who have in many ways helped me with my game collecting. So anyway, this was our first expo, and,
Yeah.
and we went to many panels while we were there. We saw the That's How Game Chasing Go with the Game Chasers who we follow, and Alpha Omega Sin, 8-Bit Eric, and Happy Console Gamer. Those guys were on a panel. That was great. We went to the Video Game Collector panel that had John Hancock. He's got like 8,000
Yeah.
boxed
Amazing.
games and 20-some complete collections. Can't even hope to achieve that. But he did a panel with Metal Jesus and Drunken Master Paul. That was very cool, very informative. I think I got a free game there at the end.
I missed that one. I didn't go with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and we went to the Music Challenge by Retro Liberty and Nest Complex and Arcade Impossible.
Yeah, that was fun.
So that was fun too. So a lot of good panels there. I was at the auction on Saturday night. I didn't win anything there, but boy, it was really something. One of the big draws for the conference for us, or for the expo for us, was the vendors.
Yeah.
This was one chance I thought that I could go and acquire some of the things that would fill in holes in my collection. I'm a big Sega Master System fan, so I was hoping for some Sega Master System stuff there. Recently got a TurboGrafx, was hoping to get some TurboGrafx stuff there, but lots of different things. So let's get started with what we picked up on the very first day. So we walked right in, and one of the first things I saw, I think it was Video Game Wizard's booth. They had a bunch of bins and manuals. So first thing I did was go through those manuals. And actually, now that I think about it, I bumped into Pat.
Oh,
Nest
yeah.
Punk.
Pat,
He came by and said,
Pat
"Are there any
Nest
Nest manuals?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
Pat." And we also saw Pro Jared. I didn't talk to those guys really, but
Yeah, that's right.
we did see Pat the Nest Punk at the manuals. So I was pretty excited about the manuals. I do like collecting complete. That's not always possible. Or now that I'm getting things from Goodwill or from Craigslist or whatever, they'll come loose, and so I like to populate and fill in with manuals. Got Bases Loaded. That's a loose game that I had from a Craigslist bundle this year. Blades of Steel, recently got that this year. Now I've got the manual for it. Very cool. I put these in. I do Universal Game Cases now, thanks to Nest Complex and some other people. So it's very cool to have the manuals and the NES games, and I kind of have a plastic box for them now. So very excited about that. Gyromite, have Gyromite, don't have Rob, whatever. I just pick any NES games I can find. My collection's pretty minimal right now. Mickey Mousecapade got this game in a Craigslist bundle, so I grabbed the manual for that. Snake Rattle and Roll, I think I found this at a thrift shop, the game. Solomon's Key, another Craigslist bundle acquisition. And Trojan. Now this game I've had since when I first got my NES. This which was in like 1997 was my first NES. This was a game I actually played at my friend's house, my neighbor's house, and so it's kind of one of those personal favorites of mine. Just growing up with it. Finally got the manual for it, so that's very exciting. After like 16 years, I finally got the manual for that. Some Game Boy games, Donkey Kong. I got this over the summer. Kirby's Dream Land, recently got that at a garage sale. Now I've got the manual for that. I take Nintendo DS cases and modify them for my Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games, so these will all go in there. Radar Mission, another Craigslist acquisition, and Zelda DX. Got this over the summer. I think it was at a shop. I got it because they were doing a buy two get one free. But got the manual for that, so very excited to have that. Some NES games. These are both I got at a Craigslist. Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter 2. Didn't have those manuals. Super Nintendo, Pokemon Stadium. Got that at a Goodwill. Rampage World Tour. That was a Craigslist. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I think another Craigslist.
That's Goodwill.
That was a Goodwill. And then these two, Wayne Gretzky 3D Hockey and Tony Hawk. Those were two Craigslist things. So now I have the manuals for those, and those will go in the game cases I have for my Nintendo 64 games. Moving along from manuals, I got Pac-Man and its manual for the Atari 5200. I don't have a 5200. I found Dig Dug for the 5200 at Goodwill, and thought, I should get a 5200. It's probably the next console I've wanted. I got my TurboGrafx. That was the one I'd wanted for the longest time. That was going to be my next console. Now that I've got that was a great pickup. We can talk about that another time. But 5200 is probably the next on my list. So I got Pac-Man in the manual for pretty cheap, and very cheap I thought, considering the condition that the label's in.
It's really
And
good.
so looking forward to getting a 5200 for that.
Maybe next year.
Got Burger Time box and manual for the Intellivision. Yeah, there was a 5200 at the expo, and it was I wasn't sure on that one.
Yeah.
And by the time I decided I should pick it up, somebody else had grabbed it. So, in any case, don't have that 5200 yet, but did get Burger Time box and manual, and she found it. And I think I already have the inserts, the controller overlays, and the cartridge, but I did get the box and manual, so that's very nice to have. Moving along, I mentioned earlier I am a big Sega Master System fan. I already have this game. I have a nearly complete U.S. collection. Some of the more expensive ones I don't have. I was hoping to fill it out a little bit, but the ones I saw there were either not in great shape or they were way too expensive, or both. And so I did pick up this because I was missing the manual for it. So it's kind of a duplicate, but I do have the manual now, so I'll add that to my collection. So that's very cool. Also picked up Madden 94 for the Genesis. I've kind of been thinking about picking up some of the old Maddens for the Genesis, or maybe all of the Maddens for the Genesis. Not really interested in Madden generally, but for the Genesis it seemed like something that was going to be kind of cool to collect. I have 94 and 95 now, so I think this was really cheap. So
Good
I don't know if it was $1 or something like that, but it was complete. Case is in good shape, so I grabbed it. So very excited about that too. Let's see here. Moving on to Sega Saturn. I do have a Sega Saturn. I'm actually blessed to have quite a few of the more rare Sega Saturn games. I recently got a Pro Action Replay, so I wanted to get an import game. And they had Ogre Battle, and this is one of the ones I had heard of. I was hoping for like the X-Men or I forget what they are, like the X-Men versus Street Fighter, or some of the X-Men games that are the imports, and certainly Radiant Silvergun. But they didn't have anything like that, but they did have this Ogre Battle, which I'd heard of, and so I figured I'd grab it just to try the import features of the Pro Action Replay. So excited to try that one out. For Dreamcast, I got Jedi Power Battles. This is a game my brothers and I used to play, and it's one of the ones that I've been looking for, and so I grabbed it. Excited to play that one again after 10 years. Along with that, I finally got some colored controllers for the Dreamcast. I've been trying to find some of these for a while. They did have a gray one there that was kind of dinged, kind of wasn't in great shape, so I didn't get that one. But got blue, red, and green. Have the colored VMUs to go with them. They're boxed, so I'm probably not going to put them in here. But very excited to get the colored Dreamcast controllers. I think they look really cool.
Yep.
So
They had quite a few of those.
they had quite a few. And Eric, your brother got
yeah,
some of the green ones.
I
He
think
had some green
and
ones,
red
but
ones.
I only
Green
saw
and
this
blue.
one red one there,
Yeah,
and so
he got green
I
and
snagged
blue.
it. So
Nice.
very, very exciting about that. Let's see here. So moving on to some of the newer stuff. I do have, I do collect for the more recent systems. Arc the Lad. I have Arc the Lad collection for the PlayStation 1 and the other Arc the Lad, or another Arc the Lad game for the PS2. So I saw this sitting there and the price is pretty good. So thought I'd fill out my PS2 RPGs. Also got Chaos Field for the GameCube. Now this is a game that I had my eye on back in the day and either never found it or the price was never right. So I got this. It's sealed. Not sure if I'll break the seal on this one, but it wasn't too expensive, so I may just open it up. I do like shooters, shoot 'em ups.
Yeah.
So definitely excited about Chaos Field. And Dark Alliance, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance for the Xbox. I have Baldur's Gate 1. Dark Alliance 2, the second one is a little harder to come by. I saw a couple of them at the expo, but this one was in really good shape. It had the manual, so I bundled it with some other games I was getting at that stop, that vendor, and so I have that to complete the Dark Alliance. And for PS3, Dark Souls. I've been looking for this in a black label for a while. All of them now are red label. And this is sealed, it's new, it's black label, and it was cheaper than the red label cost, $20 right now. So I grabbed it. Very excited, very, very pleased to get that. I've been looking for that for a while. So moving on to some of the Nintendo stuff. I grew up with Sega. I grew up reading Sega Visions. So Nintendo Power is not something that I'm very familiar with. I don't have very many. I got my first Nintendo Power issue over the summer at a thrift shop. And I went into the expo trying to get some more.
Yeah.
But I only wanted to pay like $2 an issue. And many of the vendors were asking $5.
Yeah, 5 or more even. Kind of ridiculous.
So this place was asking $2, and we got them for 3 for $5. So I've got let's see, I forget which is which. I think this is June of 1994 and August of 1994. These are in great shape. And January of 1995. Was going to get some more. There was another vendor that had a bunch of them, but they were asking over $5, and I was going to go back on Sunday and try to get a deal, but I was running out of time and money. So didn't end up getting those.
Yeah.
But I am adding to my Nintendo Power collection, so that's very exciting. All right. NES games. Boxed Gauntlet, complete, with manual and the Tengen sleeve. I don't normally collect boxed NES games. I'm happy with just the cartridge and the manual, but this had the sleeve, and it was I thought it was a pretty reasonable price. I'm kind of thinking I might try to collect some of the whole Tengen collection for the NES. One reason is because the Tengen games had a lot of Sega games for the Nintendo. They ported Shinobi and Space Harrier, Fantasy Zone, Alien Syndrome, which is one of the other games I have. So this is the second Tengen game I've got, but I'm definitely interested in acquiring some other ones. Yeah, that was happy to get that. Some of the other Nintendo games I've got. Now these are games I've been waiting a long time to get. These are I've had the manuals for them for quite a while. Haven't been able to buy the cartridges because the prices were too high, but the prices were pretty good at the expo, so I finally got Snake's Revenge. I am a Metal Gear fan. I know this is not the canonical sequel to Metal Gear, the original Metal Gear, but I wanted to check it out anyway, and I have the manual for it. So, and it's hey, it's still a Metal Gear kind of game, even though it may be like a step child sort of offshoot, Black Sheep, but happy to get that. Kid Icarus, been waiting a while to get that one. Have had the manual for many years. Saw that, and labels in good shape and everything like that. And Super C, another one. Big fan of Contra. So I always wanted to check into Super C, and they had it there for a good price, and the label's in great shape. The last game I got for the NES on Saturday was Mega Man 3. I have Mega Man 2, but that's the only one I've got. So I decided I would try to get some more Mega Man games. And I saw several Mega Man 3s there. I didn't see any of the others, but I did see Mega Man 3 several times. This one was in great shape, and the vendor had a pretty good price on it. and so I was excited to get that. And the bonus is that I got the manual with it. Now this manual was actually at a table that they were auctioning off, or they were raffling off everything at the table. You couldn't buy anything, you had to raffle. So I bought the raffle, and they called my number, and I went straight for this manual. It might not have been the most valuable thing up there, but it was to me, because it completes my, to my, you know, level, my Mega Man 3. So I'll put this in a universal game case, and got the game in the manual, both in great shape. So that was very, very excited about that pickup.
Good pickup.
Moving to Game Boy, Metroid 2. I've been looking for this for a while. I'm a fan of Metroid. I was actually introduced to it with Metroid Prime on the GameCube, and then I went back and played the NES and the Super Nintendo versions. And I always wanted to play this one. So finally got a copy of this. I don't have the manual. I couldn't find the manual there, but
We'll look next
but
year.
yeah, we'll look next year, right? We'll look next year.
Put it on the list for next year.
It'll be on the list, believe me. And then I got for Game Boy Color, Zelda Oracle of Ages. This is a game that I had my eye on back in 2001 when it came out, but didn't want to pay the retail price for it. And before I saw it on sale or it dropped in price, it disappeared from the shelves. So never got this back in the day, but they had a great copy of it. The box is in great shape. Manual and cartridge are all in great shape. So I grabbed Zelda Oracle of Ages. So this gets me one step closer to having all of the Zelda games. I have most of them on the console, and now I have many of them on the portable system. So cool, very, 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 very excited about that pickup. And finally,
we forgot the NES Advantage.
Oh, NES Advantage, yeah.
Got this for a good price.
Forgot the NES Advantage with the NES. Got this. I never had an NES Advantage.
It's a good condition too.
It seems like it's in pretty good condition. I haven't tried it yet,
Condition, good price.
but I'm looking forward to trying it out. I have some NES Max controllers, and this is the first Advantage I have. So
They had a lot of. I think they have quite a few at the.
yeah, they did.
So this was a good one.
The last year or so, I've definitely been building up my NES collection, and that controller has been one of the items I've wanted.
All right.
But the last thing we got, or the last thing we'll talk about, is the crown jewel of the collection. And this one I bought while Melissa was away because it was a little bit pricey. Well, that's not why, but it turns out that it was a little bit pricey. So, and that is Final Fantasy III Complete. This was in excellent shape. I've always wanted to get this game. The box it came with the manual. Which is a little bit beat up, but the maps and everything are in excellent shape. The box is in excellent shape. Game's in excellent shape.
And this, I think. Go
I
ahead.
have Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo. I bought that back in like 2000, 2001, and it was complete. And I never got Final Fantasy III. Around that time, they came out with Final Fantasy compilation for the PlayStation 1 that had both 5 and 6, which Final Fantasy III is really Final Fantasy 6. It had 5 and 6, and I actually played it on that compilation. So I never felt the need to get the, at the time, never felt the need to get the expensive cartridge.
That was before you were like collecting.
Since that time, though, I've decided this is kind of an essential for the Super Nintendo. And the Super Nintendo, I do like to collect. My Super Nintendo collection is completely boxed, and so I do like to get the boxes for them. Very excited
Nice
to get
box.
Final Fantasy III boxed and complete for the Super Nintendo.
And a fair price.
It was a pretty good
Fair,
price. I mean,
yeah.
it's probably about what I would have paid 10 years or 12 years ago. So, it was it looks like it's in great shape. We tested it out. I think the battery still works and everything. So, that was it for day one.
Oh, my T-shirt. I got my T-shirt.
Oh yeah, we got our T-shirts. Melissa got a couple years ago, and
I like this
I just
one
got
better.
this one. That was it for day one. We went to the auction, didn't get anything there.
Yeah, you did.
I went to the auction
Yeah.
with Eric.
Eric.
It was very, very, very interesting. The prices really escalated pretty quickly, so we didn't end up getting anything. That was day one.
I think you got plenty.
I did get plenty.
I got plenty on Saturday and Sunday. You'll see.
And we got more on Sunday, so we kind of suffered from the first timers.
Yeah.
Spent a little more money than we thought, but we'll have a part two with the rest of our pickups, and yeah,
Hope you
I
enjoyed
guess
it.
that's it.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Thanks.